So in my life, I've dealt with a lot of entrepreneurs, and especially now or in third world countries, a lot of entrepreneurs, they are planning or they're trying to venture into animal production field. So as a vet and also having much time dealing with professional farmers, I realized one thing, that our entrepreneurs, especially African entrepreneurs, they are really facing a problem when they are starting this business, that we just start without any idea about what we are doing. That's the first thing. And also, they also gave me the question which I want to talk about today, that is, does a farming business earn you a living? Like, does it give you a profit that is worth in such a way that you can survive and you can also cover any of your bills? So today, this is what we're just going to cover out, like starting from what makes it a failure, and also how can we manage to have a productive animal production farming project. So starting from the farming projects, we have different kinds of projects that we can first, or that we can really look into and make a living. So for example, we can just look into animal breeding, like cattle production, or we can also look into like chicken, and a lot of people, they are trying to venture into chicken business, which is something that is of an individual choice. So okay, so what makes it a failure to start a farming project business to a lot of people? Okay, so what professional farmers do is, mostly at the beginning, they do take a training activity. So before they start the project, before they start anything, the first thing they do is they do take a training, and after that they start planning. Also, when they plan, they do make a business plan for their farming project, and after that, then it's okay, and they've started their business. So our entrepreneurs, we really face this problem that at the beginning, we just want to start a chicken production, right? And I want to make a living from this, but I don't know, or I don't have a business plan for this. That another thing is, I do not have any training that I've taken before. So we're just going to face this problem, that especially for feeding, because for chicken production business, one thing we need, especially for the ones for meat, one thing we need is we need to reduce the feeding section. If we manage to reduce the cost on the feeding, then that means we can really have a good earning on the production of chicken. So one thing we don't know, one thing we forget about is, we don't know the ration, we don't know the daily feed uptake for every chicken. Those calculations, we lack them. We don't have those calculations. When we see that, when we do the business and without those calculations, we tend to realize that at the end of the project, you don't have a good profit, or you haven't got the profit you were expecting to have. That's another thing. Secondly, we kind of have a situation where we do our business without a marketing target, right? Without a marketing group. Like, we don't know what we are going to do after our products are about to release to the market. So generally, we know that chickens, they do, especially broilers, they do take 7 weeks to mature or to be ready for selling. So we do have this problem that until they finish 7 weeks, we don't know, we don't have the market. So as we finish those, as they finish those 7 weeks, now they're now extending the days they are not supposed to be spending, to be extending actually, and we are now also having an experience of unexpected losses, because we're just going to keep on feeding and feeding, and they are really giving us or putting us into a loss situation. So we have different factors like that. But another thing is, we kind of have the issue of lack of communication, right? So as we start this business, one thing we should do is, if we are to start with a group, or if you are to start with your workers, that means those workers also need to be trained. That's the problem we are really making. And also we are not considering, because we just take people just because we want a cheap labor, but those people, they are not experienced. So there comes a point of examining the diseases, or maybe examining this health situation of a chicken. We don't know it. So that is another reason, a great reason why people are failing. And also, we're taking vet doctors for granted, because a lot of people, they just go to any pharmacy, then they take the drugs and they're like, okay, I think it has this problem, so let's give it this. Okay, for your business to go well, I do encourage you to have a person, a veterinary technician or a veterinary doctor, the one you contact. That is the kind of communication I'm talking about. We lack that kind of information because we just think that we can do it by ourselves, or maybe we can give them herbs. Because chickens, the health of a chicken is just like also for a human being. There's no much bigger difference because all are creatures. So that is one thing we should consider when it comes to animal production, and also to avoid losses that much. Okay, so my greatest answer, or the best answer I can give to that question I'm talking about is yes, of course, we can really make a good living with chicken, or maybe any animal production business. Okay, so if you have questions, I think feel free to ask, because that's my field actually.